The Liverpool Reaction, an American LFC podcast, starts now. All right, folks, welcome back to the Liverpool Reaction, an American LFC podcast. Coach, once again, they come back, 92nd minute winner. I mean, it's great to be able to win like this, but I'd like an easy one every now and again.
Well, it looked like it was going to be an easy one 10 minutes in, but apparently not.
Coach, the breakdown of the first half was pretty straightforward. Liverpool blitzed Atletico. Atletico got a little bit back in the game, probably in the 20-minute mark. And then Marcus Llorente, the Anfield killer, I guess. I mean, geez, this guy just loves playing at Anfield. Toe pokes one home, and all of a sudden we have a tight affair. Second half, I mean, this game could have been 7-2, 6-2 easily. Mo Salah hit the post. Florian Wirtz came to life. Ekitike missed a sitter. I mean, this game had it all. Coach, I know you said that you kind of miss Jurgen Klopp and that style of play, but man, this is pretty exciting too.
Yeah, I think that's fair point. But it can't go on forever. So it'd be nice if they could get a result and say with tonight they get 2 goals up and then they minimum hold on to it. Although one thing that I would point out was I thought that the first goal for Atletico could have been called back because Griezmann was offside and interfering the vision of the goalkeeper.
I agree.
So, I mean, that's a call that's been made on several occasions, and I thought it was pretty clear, actually.
Yeah, he was definitely obstructing Alisson Becker's viewpoint for sure. I mean, he dove very late, and it was clear that he didn't see that coming. But, Coach, there was some positive signs of life from Mo Salah. It looked vintage Mo Salah. He was very involved. I don't know if it was more that they were looking for him or he was getting open where he was going one-on-one, but the goal he scored was, I thought, was absolutely beautiful. It looked like Mo. What were your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's been very anonymous. It was the same at the end of last season as well. So he was involved more, and I don't know whether it's a European tie, so maybe things are a little bit of a different flavor. He seemed to be linking up with other players, and obviously having Frimpong over on that side, who I would describe him as adventurous. So yeah, maybe that means that it's a distraction. Salah's more open, more involved, and to give him a lot of credit, because I've been a little critical of him of late. When he scored, he's got three Madrid defenders around him, and he kind of holds them all off and tucks it in.
Yeah, it was very well done. He's a strong guy for sure. You could tell that he held them off no problem. And Coach, Florian Wirtz in the second half seemed to come to life again. I think he's starting to find his feet. But Coach, really, the story of the day was outside of Virgil getting the winner is Alexander Isak, seeing him in a red shirt. What were your thoughts of his performance?
Yeah, I mean, I think we saw some touches from him for sure. I mean, it's the first game. I wasn't expecting him to start. I thought he might get some minutes. So yeah, I mean, he got nearly an hour, and yeah, I mean, it's good to see him finally there. I'm sure he will be relieved. The fans will be excited, and it'll be interesting to see if he starts on Saturday morning against Everton.
I know that Slot was saying for sure, like prior to the game, today, that he was going to start him and he was looking to get about an hour. So I think he's treating this like a preseason tour for him where he gets an hour, pulls him off. He did kind of hint that he might not play in the weekend,
Oh, really?
but yeah, but also after the game, he did mention how he was surprised how fit he looked and how lively he looked. So I wonder if now he might go back on that pre-game comment and maybe bring him in, with 15, 20 minutes to go, assuming the game will probably, I'm sure, will be tight. Not only is it Everton, a derby, it's also just kind of the way we've been playing.
Yes. So I didn't know that, but I think logically, I mean, like he's going to rotate to some degree. He's going to rotate. So logically, I think bringing him off the bench might be the obvious thing to do, and then start Ekatike, who yes, I mean, like he did miss that chance at the end. I mean, it could easily have bounced in as over the bar.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, both of them are obviously. I think that they're going to be involved, and I think there's too much. I think there's too much dialogue from the media about the two of them, and can they play together, or who is going to play. I think there's going to be a lot of games. I think there's going to be some rotation. I think it's a 16-man game, so doesn't mean that they'll play together, but I think they're going to play. So I think that's how it is, and I think longer term, I mean, Ekatike, how old is he? 21, 22?
I think he's 22 or 23. Yeah, I believe he's 23.
That was he 23,
Yeah.
and then Isak's what, 25?
Yeah, I think he's turning 26 very soon.
Yeah. So I mean, as we've mentioned in previous podcasts, Salah's not going to last forever. So yeah, I mean, like the two of them are going to be around for a while. So I mean, it's not just a signing for this minute. It's a longer term. It's a longer term signing, I would think.
Yeah, when the substitutes came in, it was interesting. I was very interested to seeing how he was going to do it. I was curious if he was going to bring Ekatike in the second half and take Gakpo off to see if him and Isak could play together, and then when Isak would come off around the hour mark, move Ekatike to the front, and then bring in a winger like Rio. But it was interesting that Florian Wirtz played out there when McAllister came in.
Well, that's another option. That's another option. I mean, I think there's going to be some games when Liverpool legitimately need three out-and-out midfield workhorses, as it were, because like you saw this in the Manchester derby at the weekend, where Manchester City intentionally outnumber Manchester United in midfield. So I think, logically speaking, that's something that teams will look to do against Liverpool.
Yeah.
And I mean, because Wirtz, he's kind of a midfielder. He certainly presses, but I think his remit is going to be something else, besides the pressing. And I don't think he's an out and out midfielder necessarily. So I think moving him into the forward line is logical too, and he's done it before. He's done it before he came to this country in the Bundesliga. So I think it's something that's an option.
Coach, there were moments in this game from a pressing standpoint, from just the way the ball was moving around, that you can kind of picture what this could really look like in a couple months when things start clicking, because there were just moments where I was like, oh, wow, I can see what the final product's going to look like. I thought Isak was very, very good. He had a quick turn. One of his first touches, a quick turn and shot. I don't know how he even got that off.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I remember that. So.
Yeah. And then a nice pass to put Florian Wirtz in, and Wirtz kind of went around the goalie, and then him and Frimpong kind of got mixed up. Mm-hmm. But you can kind of see how all these really high quality players are going to potentially mold together and create a really, really tough team to handle for anybody.
Yeah, the first half performance, I would say, is probably the best I've seen Liverpool play this season. There was a lot of mobility. I mean, how much of that can be attributed to the fact that they score early? Because I don't think they've been scoring early in games, have they?
No,
This season. So
they certainly haven't.
yeah, they've been pretty low key in a lot of the games, and that kind of goes against the grain for Liverpool, especially at Anfield historically. I mean, because Liverpool has traditionally taken the game to the opponent, and a fast start was something that was in, that was in the way that the club functions long before Jurgen Klopp even. Although having said that, another facet of the Liverpool game is, I can recall back in the day that when Liverpool would be trailing and the Kop would shout "attack, attack, attack," and the chant would go up, and then there would be kind of the late barrage, and I guess we saw that again today, because Liverpool made chances in and around the Van Dijk winner.
Coach, Van Dijk's, I mean, what can you say about this guy? He leads by example, well-deserved captain, great header to win it.
Oh, yeah.
I thought even in the first half, I thought to myself when they got a couple corners, like, I think they can score on a corner on these guys. They're a little bit smaller, and I can see that happening. And there was a lot of wrestling going on in the box on all corner kicks, but Virgil kind of got free. But even then, his shirt, you couldn't even see the number on his shirt when he scored the header because the guy was grabbing his shirt. But Virgil is strong, and I mean, what a leader.
Yeah, he's physically strong and he's determined, and it's not the first time he scored from a corner, is it? So I mean, he is a weapon for sure. I mean, Liverpool, I wouldn't say that that they're renowned for their set pieces, but when there's when something happens, certainly from corner kicks, Van Dijk's going to be involved. And actually,
Yeah.
the first goal came from a set piece. One thing that was interesting about that was before it was taken, my eyes were actually on Andy Robertson because he was standing behind the wall. He was offside, and then his job was clearly to try to block the view of the goalkeeper, block Oblak's view of what was happening. And then as you watch it back, he quickly steps in. And of course, it was a free goal. It kind of hits him, and it kind of, there's nothing that the goalkeeper can do then. But it was quite interesting that. So Liverpool aren't renowned for their set pieces, but like they got two tonight, and of course there was the Arsenal game in Szoboszlai.
Coach, when I think back of the Arsenal game, just quickly, the Arsenal haven't given up a goal in their 4 games, and it took a worldie from Szoboszlai to beat them. Now we have a big game this weekend with United and City. Arsenal and City. Pardon me. Playing against each other. It's a very critical game this early, isn't it?
It is. So I mean, Liverpool have Jurgen Klopp's favorite time to play the derby on Saturday morning. And if Liverpool get all 3 points, then that's going to put a little bit of pressure on really both Manchester City and Arsenal. And I'm not sure who's under more pressure because Manchester City's already lost 2 games. Arsenal obviously lost to Liverpool. So if Liverpool can get over the blue hurdle, as it were, if they were to draw, which I think is a very likely result, as it is in the derby, I'd have to say, but if Liverpool wins and it's a draw, then I mean, that's really going to put a lot of pressure on the chasing pack.
Who from our standpoint, from a Liverpool point of view, is a draw between City and Arsenal the best result for us, or is it Arsenal losing, so now both teams are 6 points back?
Yeah, I mean, I think either one is a benefit. So I suppose that how many points are Liverpool ahead of Arsenal? 3, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And 6 in front of City.
So I guess if Manchester City was to win, that would put Liverpool, if they win, 6 points ahead of both of them.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a long way to go, obviously, but yeah, it is going to start put some early pressure on the opposing teams. But having said all of that, I mean, I think the big thing is that Liverpool, whilst this was the 5th win of the season, they still don't have enough control of the games overall, and I think that's probably going to concern the manager the most. Everton, yeah, it's interesting to think about Everton because you would expect them to park the bus. I think one difference between this derby, certainly compared to the last few years, is Everton have a little more, well, they have a lot more threat in terms of attack, because obviously they've got Ndiaye and they've got Grealish on the 2 flanks, and then Dewsbury Hall, who I think is a very good signing, and he's been doing well in the middle, and they've got Tyler Dibbling as a good option coming in off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Charlie Alcaraz, hasn't played, I think, the last couple of games for Everton, and I think he's a very good player. So Everton have options. I know that they're always critical of the striker Beto, but Beto's tended to do pretty well against Liverpool.
He's a big guy. He's a handful. Yeah.
Yeah. So what is interesting, I was listening to Radio Merseyside today, and they usually have on every day an Everton fan and a Liverpool fan, from the various podcasts from the area. And the Everton fan today was talking about David Moyes returning to type. He, expects him to play defensively. And I think one of the things, I mean, David Moyes has done very well since he's returned to Everton. I almost said Goodison, by the way. So he's done very well. But I still feel that there's a little bit of a feeling around that not everybody wanted him back initially, and that's kind of cooled because he's got good results. And there's still a feeling, well, maybe we'll have him for a couple of years, and then we want somebody that's kind of younger and more, more progressive, whatever. So this is an opportunity maybe for Everton to play a little more adventurously than they have in the past. Because if you think about it, I mean, in the end, it turned out to be a demanding game for Liverpool, which is pretty much what we expected. But after the 2 early goals, maybe we thought, we got out of prison on that one. So a demanding game, and then there's not a lot of time until Saturday morning. So Everton will be fresh this week. That they're going to be well drilled, whatever the game plan is, whether it is park the bus or it is going to be take the game to Liverpool, Everton will be well drilled. And there's a couple of things that make me think, well, this might be the ideal time, because if he can get a result against Liverpool playing more adventurously, then that kind of puts to bed to some degree some of the doubters that think, oh, well, he's always going to park the bus. He's always going to be pragmatic. Maybe he will be, but I just feel that there are some circumstances and some ingredients he has with his team that might tempt him to do something else.
Coach, with Grealish on the left-hand side going up against potentially Connor Bradley or Frimpong, who would you prefer to be in that position? Because he's been lights out for them, and he's their main. They look for him. He's their main source of creativity when it comes to the final third. So, what are your thoughts there?
Probably Bradley. But yeah, I wasn't expecting Frimpong to start tonight, so it's going to be interesting, just like it is on the other flank. Will he start? The experience of Andy Robertson, who I thought had a good game.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows? I think, as we said earlier, I think he'll start Ekatike over Isak. I think that'll happen for sure. Midfield, I don't know how long Jones is out for. Do you?
They said that they're going to see how he's doing, but they think he'll be available for Everton.
Oh, they do. Okay.
Yeah, they think, because but also I think they might have held him out on this game specifically for the Everton game. I think when it comes to this derby, I think it's important to have a Liverpool lad, kind of homegrown guy that kind of understands it. I mean, he stood up to Decore last year, and although he might have got red carded for it, but he was not happy with the way Decore celebrated in front of the Liverpool fans. So I think maybe that was the thought process behind that.
Yeah. So yeah, there's all these options, and some of them will probably be feeling knocks here and there. Actually, Isak got a pretty good clout in the first half.
I was worried when he went down. I said, "Oh no."
So yeah, I mean, like, they'll be feeling it, and this is something that maybe Everton can use to their advantage, if they're prepared to gamble. So I think that's going to be something that'll be interesting to see whether Moyes will kind of break the mold and maybe take the game a little more to Liverpool than he has in the past.
Is Gakpo on the left, you think? And maybe starting with three midfielders to hold the park, and maybe Gakpo or Flo on the left?
I think we talked about this after the weekend's game. I'm going to be very interested to see how he rotates his midfield, because that's where I think Liverpool kind of fell short last year, was rotation there. Now there's a game midweek where I think he's going to make a lot of changes for Southampton in the League Cup. So guessing and seeing what he's done in the past, don't be shocked if he puts out a very similar team as he did tonight, with maybe the only changes being at fullback and maybe Isak. I wouldn't be surprised if the rest of the team stays the same.
Coach, predictions now for Saturday morning, here, at least here in the States. Is it? I know these are tight, and you are conservative normally with this type of prediction when it comes to this game. Are you thinking same type of game, 1-0, 1-1, 2-1 kind of game?
Well, if you look at the last decade, the last 10 years, the record, I believe, is Everton have won 2 games in the last 10 years. Liverpool have won 11, and then 9 have been draws. So, I mean, I don't know how that compares to other fixtures, but I think because of circumstances, Everton in a lot of these games, the plan is keep it tight, frustrate Liverpool, and if we can grab something else, then it's a bonus. So my gut feeling is that there's a good chance it could be a draw. If it's an open game, I think it's more likely that Liverpool win. But will it be an open game? I'd like to think that Moyes will try to quell his doubters by surprising them.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe his tactic for this game is try to get an early goal and then sit in, so you kind of get the best of both worlds. I mean, because Liverpool definitely have trouble breaking down defenses that sit in. Now, we expected it tonight, but it didn't happen because Liverpool scored early, and clearly there was a good deal of fortune with that first goal. So, I mean, I would like to see Liverpool come out and take the game to Everton. I'm not sure if you'll set up similarly to Arsenal in terms of Liverpool didn't really try to, didn't really try to play too aggressively against the Gunners in the first half, and I wonder whether he might do that against Everton. I don't know. I mean, it's as I said before the season started, I think that this is the year where we get more of a feeling for Arne Slot as a coach, because last year he was very smart in as much as that he inherited a good squad. They had a good team spirit. They had a nice start to the season. He got some results under the belt, and then they just did the heavy lifting earlier in the season, and then the opposing teams, the teams that you would expect to chase Liverpool, just weren't consistent. And then later in the season, I don't think Liverpool played particularly well in the tail end of the season, with maybe the exception of the Tottenham game, when they clinched the title, and really Tottenham were the perfect opponent for that day.
Yeah.
Because under Ange, they weren't going to sit in, and they didn't.
Yeah, I think I look at their lineup, and I don't think they're gonna sit in like a low block. I think they're at times they'll sit in, but I think they're gonna try to play a little bit too. I think they feel a lot more confident with their skilled players, especially Grealish on the left, and Jai, you mentioned on the right. These are good players, and they can cause anybody problems. So I'm anticipating not necessarily an open game, but a lot more open than the past games. And I'm just gonna say it. I mean, it's gonna be another added time winner. 5 games in a row. Why wouldn't we think it's gonna happen again? So 2-1 Liverpool, 93rd minute goal. Pick your poison. I don't know who will score it, but that's my bet.
I just hope that Tarkowski gets sent off when he does the reckless challenge early in the game this time.
It's coming. You know that for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting because listening to Radio Merseyside, the feeling is that Tarkowski's not been playing particularly well. Obviously, they're missing their best defender, Branthwaite.
Mm-hmm.
But Michael Keane, who's had a catalogue of defensive misdemeanors over the years, has actually been doing much better, and I know a few of the fans have been saying that he's been playing better than Tarkowski. So yeah, we'll see.
Well, we'll see. Coach, another one in the books. 3 points for the Champions League phase. Another added time winner. I mean, it's ridiculous. But Coach, thank you as always for your insight on all of these things, especially with the tactics and everything else that you bring to the podcast. We always appreciate it. But guys, thank you for listening. We're gonna wrap it up, and we will be back at some point on Saturday to review the Everton game and look ahead slightly to the Southampton game as well. But 3 more points. Although they're the first 3 points of the Champions League, it's a really good start to that. And we look forward to seeing you guys next time. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Coach and I want to take a second to thank everybody for watching on YouTube or whether you're listening via podcast. Please subscribe or follow the show wherever you consume your content. We are looking forward to continuing to bring you the best Liverpool content out there. We'll see you next time.